Now, Hino Hub, I want to talk about race starts. You know, in our game, overtaking, there's 4 places that are really in priority. The start is where the most places are won and lost. First lap, pits, strategy, and then the racetrack, finally. So starts are the very, very important one. And we saw yesterday with Mostert, this wonderful start that he got, and he made big positions up. Went from 5th to 2nd by the first corner. A magnificent effort. So I wanted to dig in a little deeper and just explain a bit more to you about how this happens. Now, it's all about the clutch. This is attached to the pressure plate on the back of our engine, and the clutch plate, when we go down in there, you'll see, is connected to the drive line. It's down in there, right? Now, 600 horsepower has to go through that little clutch plate and get that to the rear wheel. So how you engage that clutch is really important. So there is one there. I just wanted to show you what a beautiful piece of equipment that is. They're about close to $10,000. So all that horsepower's got to go through those little carbon plates there. And as I said, how you engage that clutch is very, very important. Another important aspect to it, this is Mostert, that's Chaz's clutch and this is his steering wheel. When we look at that, there's a line locker on here, which is that button there. So that's when he pushes that on the start line, the rear brakes are locked on, so he can bring his clutch up and the car doesn't roll forward. That's when they talk about line lock, a very important aspect when you release that as well. So when we go in a little closer, you can see there on his steering wheel, there is his line locker. Now, I want to go a little further into this, and we'll go down into the car with Chaz and go through what he's doing and what he's seeing. So he's pulled up to the start line first of all. You can see he's in first gear. You can see his button down there. He's got his line locker on. Now, one of the massive distractions when this happens is, although he's only got a bit of throttle on 51%, listen to the sound. 7,500 RPM screaming is a massive distraction. You see, interestingly, his page there on his dash went from a start page to what we call a race page automatically. And away he goes. Just a mega, mega start. So we tried to model this against his data. We got his data out of his car, and thank you to the team for that. What's really important here, when you're full of adrenaline, you're on the line, you've got the 7,500 RPM screaming in your ears, 25 other cars around you screaming the same. You can see here, this is Chaz's feet. We've modelled them. Here's his throttle percentage, here's his gear. So what he's got to do, so he brings it up, before he starts, he gets it up to about 51%, and he holds it there. Now, this is really, really difficult to do. So he's going to hold it there. Now I want to bring up his clutch pedal. All right, I've got a different slider here for his clutch pedal. Right. So with his clutch, again, he's got to maintain this 50-odd%. And some drivers, this might be 35, might be 42, based on your fuel load, how hot your tyres are, etc., and so on. But it's how he releases the clutch then is so critical. Now, releasing a clutch sounds really easy. Hang on, I've got to reset that. Releasing the clutch is really simple, but it's not really simple if you want to try and maintain that 52%. So what he does, you can see he fiddles with his clutch a little bit to find his bite point, just to find where that clutch bites. Then he goes forward, releases the clutch, and then he goes to 100% throttle. Really, really hard to do. I managed to grab the data out of his car so you can see this more closely. This is his speed. This is his RPM, this is his throttle position, this is his clutch. And if you look here, here's where the race actually started. So you can see his wheel speed goes off there. Now, if you come in close here, and what I really love about this, when you look at his throttle position, right, you can see how he released the clutch. Look at his throttle position. Now, this is the 52%, 51% I was talking about. Then he releases the clutch and up he goes. But if you look here at his RPM, see that tiny little bump there? This was brilliant. That's maybe 50 RPM. Chaz, through the butt of his pants, could feel just a little bit of wheel spin coming on. So look what he did. He came off the throttle just for a moment. Now, had he not come off the throttle, that rev would have gone up further, the rear tyres would have broken into spin and it would have been a horrible start. So that is beautiful feel from the racing driver. Off he got, and then he got back onto the throttle. So well done, Chaz. And when you see that, he did that 0 to 100, which is the measurement we use, 0 to 100 kilometres an hour in 3.4 seconds. That was a ripping good start. And you can just see there, look at that, away he goes, gave him the ability to weave through traffic. And as I say, there's 3-4 spots that you'll never make up in the race that are all about throttle, clutch release, under a lot of pressure, a lot of adrenaline. That was very, very well managed.